Hello, this is Lisa Rusczyk.
And Donna Murphy.
With the podcast, we are all psychic. And if you're watching on Spotify or YouTube, we have the expert authority coach. And she would like to answer a question that Donna is going to ask her.
Yes. I am going to ask you what we ask every single one of our guests every single time they're on the show. And that is, do you think we're all psychic?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. We've never had that answer.
That answer.
There you go.
We love it. We love
Perfect.
it. So how did you get to absolutely?
well, I mean, in my work as the expert authority coach, and really I'm a business coach, but with a little bit of splash. And I have all my life, I have used my intuition, my guidance, my internal navigation system to step aside from situations that would have not been good for me, but also leaned into things that just felt right. And I was, before we hit record today, I was talking about the goosebumps. That's my meter, right?
Yes.
So when I'm talking to a client and they're saying, this is what I'm doing, I'm stuck, I feel overwhelmed, blah, 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 blah. I'll get an idea, a concept will come through my head or a direction that I think would be good for them. And when that happens, when we start talking about it, I get goosebumps. And if I get goosebumps on my arms and then down my legs and then my back,
it's
spine.
Like
the universe.
Yeah.
The universe
the back
is going,
of the neck. Yeah.
Go girl, go. Yes, yes, yes. So
I get chills too. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so I got chills right now.
Mainly on my arm. No.
Yes.
It can be hot too. It can be like 90 degrees outside sweating. And if it happens, I mean,
and
there's
you still get the,
intuition's going to ghosts are by or something. And you get cold.
And
chills.
I think we all are, look at like babies, they're the closest to source, right? They're just so fresh from source. And then what happens is that we as society, we start to shape them. It's like, well, we need to know how to treat them. Are they wrapped in a blue blanket? Or are they wrapped in a pink blanket? Okay, so we're going to talk to them a certain way based on blue blanket or pink blanket. We're also going to expect certain things from them. And then you have cultural, depending on where you're born, depending on where you decide to come here through source, you've got institutions, you've got religion, you've got all this dogma, you've got education. So, it's just knocking down all of those intuitional, all those psychic abilities are being corralled, right? And then we as human beings, I believe there's a memory that we have that we all want to stay protected. So we all want to stay in the cave. And if we stay in the cave, we can't stick out. We can't make, we got to blend in. We got to blend in with everybody because if not, we'll get kicked out and eaten by a dinosaur. Right? And we don't realize, though,
the idea of staying within, staying within the group. Yeah.
And we don't realize that there might be other caves out there with other people.
Yeah. Nicer people who won't kick us out of their
maybe we
cave.
just make our own cave.
Right.
But at the time, we're such in survival mode and self-preservation mode that we tap down those things like, don't say that. Don't say that I can see what's going to happen or I can heal people, those type of gifts. So,
and I've always been fascinated by our culture as we in America anyway. I don't know how it is in Australia really, or you've lived in America though, right?
Oh yeah. All my whole life. Yeah.
Okay. So she's in Australia, listeners. But I've noticed like, so in our culture, like a lot of people are told not to have emotional responses. And I think that's related to intuition too, because if we all adapt to our culture and do not respond emotionally in ways that are not acceptable, like if we don't like something and we cry, it's bad, right? It's bad. Somebody should be saying, are you okay? But no, if you're in society and you burst out crying for some reason, people are going to think you're weird and not want to be around you most likely. Now, there might be somebody who's empathetic and come take care of you, maybe. Come say, well, you okay? But that doesn't usually happen, right? And it's because emotional responses are shut down just as much as our intuition. And I kind of think they're related somehow.
Well, also, don't forget that that's also something that is... Oh, okay. In our culture, I believe there is a war on the feminine.
I feel that.
And the war on the feminine has been going on for forever. Okay. And it's because women young girls, women hold so much power. And we are so connected to our psychic abilities. Okay. I was talking earlier too. I've just have a flurry of psychics, mediums, amazing clairvoyants. They're coming to me as clients now. Right. But they're all women. Okay. So we have that. And there has been a war, even, my friends who are gay men, if they're effeminate at all, they are attacked and
they have the feminine energy going. Yeah,
exactly. Because that's the worst thing a man could be. I have a client who's transgendered. Weird? It was, yeah. And look at the war on transgender. They're focusing so much on the men who are wanting to live their lives as women.
Not so much the women. Yeah.
No,
you're right.
No.
You're right. Yeah.
So we have that. And then on top of it, women in general, I believe we have lifetimes of being persecuted. I know I was burned at the stake. I know y'all was burned at the stake.
Probably you feel it, don't you? Or drowned, or you can feel it in your energy. The fear of talking about it just is enough.
Exactly.
You don't even know why you're afraid to talk about it when you're young. Sometimes. A lot of people say that. The women.
Exactly. But if in your previous lifetime you were burned at the stake because you were accused of being a witch,
or many lifetimes of all kinds of persecutions,
exactly. Then this lifetime you might be a little bit, under the
maybe I'm just not going to. Just not going to talk about that. And I think, I mean, so in this lifetime, there's family of origin, which, there's a pretty broad spectrum of people who will either understand or accept what gifts might be emerging, even in their young, their young children, the children they're raising. Some absolutely not. There's both ends and there's both extremes, but then there's some middle too.
Yeah.
But if you add into that, I think for women in particular, a kind of unbalanced or unrealized actual masculine energy, actual divine masculinity as an energy as opposed to a construct.
Yes.
Same thing with divine femininity as an energy, not a construct. Then you can I think, you can find balance, and you can find a good complementary way of dealing with those energies. And everybody has both.
Yes.
We all have both.
I identify myself as gender fluid, non-binary. So you call me Chris, you call me Christine. I know I've been reincarnated so many times. I know that I've been a man, I've been a woman, I've been poor, I've been rich, I've been all different types of people.
Do you remember your past lives, or have you had regressions or anything? I'm just curious for you.
You know what's funny is that I have this thing. My wife cracks up over it. What I'll do, this many years ago, I started just doing this. Like, I wonder what I would look like with a mustache or a little beard. And so I take eyebrow pencil and I would shape a little mustache and a little thing. And I was like, damn, I look good. I was like, so every Halloween I would always find I would find some costume character to dress up as, and it would be, a cowboy or whatever.
It wouldn't be your inner masculine. Yeah,
exactly. And I loved it. And especially for Halloween, because you can walk around like that, right?
Yeah, right, exactly. Nobody on Halloween, nobody asks questions. It's
nobody
like, whatever.
Exactly.
They don't want to be asked. That's why.
I know.
So that is really cool. I would love to hear about, were you raised around metaphysical thinking or open-mindedness or anything like that? Or did you kind of come to this yourself?
My dad was your typical American dad, a big guy, American. My mother was from Morocco, from Casablanca. So she had a little bit of a religious background. She was Catholic. But my mother was the type of person who made me feel that the sun, moon, everything revolved around me. And I was just like the most precious thing in her life. Like, I could do anything. You can do anything. She always gave me such encouragement. and praised me and loved and showed so much love for me. And even when I was a kid, I was I was like a tomboy, I guess for back then it was considered tomboy.
Yeah.
And they just let me be. They just let me be Christine. And then I think at 11, I said to my grandmother, I said, I'm Chris. And then she goes, okay, Christine, whatever, go take out the trash, you know?
You still got to take out the trash wherever you are.
But then just certain things happened through my life that it gave me so much clarity.
Can you think of anyone in particular that was really big for you that you were just like, wow?
The biggest one for me was a near-death experience.
Really? What happened?
Yeah.
You want to talk about it?
Yeah, I was in Costa Rica, and it was my first time on a boogie board. And I was like, I'm gonna learn how to do this. I'm gonna catch a wave. And I paddled out, and it was at a space where there was these cliffs and lots of rocks, but it was the perfect wave. It's like people come from all over the place to ride this wave. Well, professional surfers do. not
just your everyday me.
Not a novice on a boogie board.
Not a young lady who's like fresh from California going, oh, okay, let's do this. And so I paddled out, and what happened? There was a big swell, a bunch of waves were coming in, and they were huge. And I got picked up on it going out. So I literally was coming into the wave. It picked me up, and time stopped. And when time stopped, I looked around, and I realized that if I allowed this wave to do its thing, I was going to fall backwards. There was exposed rock. I could see the water had receded, and there was a flat rock underneath me. So I'd break my back. I'd fall over. I'd break my back, hit the back of my head, probably die from that. But then the wave would throw me into the cliffs. So I was like, oh, I'm going to die now. Okay.
Holy
And
crap.
It was the stopping of that linear time where I was able to look around, and I was basically asked, are you ready? And I looked around, and I was like, oh my God. At that moment of impending death, I became one with everything. I became one with the water, with the rocks, with the birds, with the plants, with the earth, with everything. And it was the most beautiful feeling I have ever felt. There's no drug that ever would make you feel that way. Maybe mushrooms, I don't know. But there's
really good mushrooms.
Yeah. But it was just this incredible feeling. And so I was like, yes, if this is what it's like, I'm ready. And I was very young.
Yeah.
And then it was like, okay, if that's your decision, here is a real quick slideshow. This is some moments in your life. And it was weird moments that were flashed before me. Putting my hand in the cookie jar of my grandmother's house, because that was a common thing. I'd get home from school, put my hand in the cookie jar, grab a cookie. Insignificant
little
moments,
things, little pleasures, it sounds like.
Little pleasures, little things. And then it showed me what would happen if I did pass, that my mother would find out on television in a news thing. And my mother had already lost a child who had hit her head in the bathtub having a seizure. And I said, oh, I can't die this way. I can't die hitting my head and being crushed and all that. And so I said, oh no, that would destroy her soul. I don't want to do that. And it was like, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah, I'm sure. I can't do that to her. And at that moment, it was as if, you have a cat, and I hate when people, I don't like it when people do this, but you know how they grab cats by the back of the neck?
Yes. And they scruff them. Yeah.
Right. That's what happened. God, an angel,
you?
I don't know.
God scruffed you?
Grabbed me from the back of the neck and took me from being underneath the wave, going like backwards, and sat me on the wave, on the top of the wave.
Popped you out.
And basically said, okay, well, now you have to fight for it, basically, okay. And then time came back in, and all of a sudden I realized the board was getting sucked into the wave because it was attached. to the wrist. So the board was getting sucked in, and I had to pull that boogie board out, which I did. And I was on the back of the wave. And then I just swam like my life depended on it to get out of that. And and I got, and at the time I had a boyfriend. And I said, I got to the shoreline and I said, did you see that? He goes, I saw that. And he goes, and I don't want to talk about it.
Wow.
Did he never say anything after that? Or like what he saw?
Oh, he was gone after that. I was that was a miracle that just happened.
And he didn't talk about it.
And,
and
he didn't.
God.
Yeah, and it was too much for him.
Yeah,
and so I said,
"That's
well,
definitely
little boy,
not the right person for you."
Exactly, little boy, you going bye bye, right?
Yeah, no,
but, But
I mean, I can understand somebody not knowing, especially right at that moment, how to process, but to just sort of, put the blinders on and go,
and not talk to you about almost dying of all things.
About yourself. Yeah, exactly.
I know.
Exactly.
So that moment, though, regardless of the boyfriend, it really changed my whole perspective on dying.
The way you describe it is so vivid. I felt like I experienced it. You're really good at describing it.
And it was the thing that I always carry back with me is that we are all connected to everything.
Yeah.
We just forget about it. We have some amnesia when we're in our bodies and everything's hunky dory.
Well, it's not very good for society to let us think that way,
Well, I also tend to think, though, and we've talked about this before, that honestly, if we were that aware every minute of
we'd go
life
crazy.
in 3D, our heads would explode. I mean, we just wouldn't, So I think sometimes we filter as a survival technique.
Yes.
So we kind of almost have to some of the time. It's good to know that we don't have to all the time. That's what I think of as kind of the upside of the whole.
Well, there's so much power in that.
Yes.
You see, and
it's our own power. It's innate self-power over our basic instincts kind of thing.
And the powers that be don't want you to know you have all that power. That's why religion was set up.
Exactly. That's what I'm getting at with the emotional responses and the intuition and everything. The churches, they don't want us to be able to think we can directly speak with our creator, and society doesn't want us to, as far as I understand it, they don't want us to be individuals. They don't want us to think for ourselves and have spiritual experiences and talk about them because they're emotional, for one. And they can change the way the world runs if everybody's talking about it and relating on it,
If we all realize how much power we have, and if we all focus in on particular things, right now I'm losing sleep because I am just riveted by this case, the Lindsay Clancy case right now.
What is? I don't watch TV or anything. What's that?
Okay, so woman, supposedly this woman who had postpartum depression had killed all of her children and then tried to kill herself.
Oh my God.
Now this is all coming from the husband.
Nobody died?
Yeah.
Oh, the 3 children.
Oh, the children all did.
They were strangled.
She did. Yeah, she did not. But
she did not die. She did not die, but she had.
My understanding is that she's paralyzed. She's in a wheelchair.
She's paralyzed. Her throat was cut. Her wrists were cut. She broke her back. Her thyroid was crushed. All of these things.
The cutting and then throwing herself, I think, out of a window.
Yes.
Or from a height. The idea was to commit suicide.
One person can't do all that to themselves.
You tell 5 planets in Scorpio that this is a cut and dry case. Yeah. And they don't ask the husband a thing. And he's saying, oh, she did it. She told me she and I'm like, what?
Is she dead and telling you this, or are you a medium now?
Yeah. No, what? There's so many holes in the case.
There's so many questions, and there's so many layers to this.
And what happens now is the entire world of TikTok, especially women, are all coming out, and everybody's psychic abilities are being ramped up because it's justice. And we know that justice, it does not sleep. And more, the things that need to come out are coming out. The people who lie, who hide, who have done heinous things in high political offices, it's coming out. And that's what's happening right now. There's a huge wave, a revolution of especially women leading the charge. And they're looking at, and they're like, wait a second, the way that the cut was made on her throat, you'd have to be left-handed. You don't cut yourself like that.
Yeah.
She's right-handed. Who's left-handed? Her husband. Her husband is left-handed. That would be a thing of it.
So where's the case at right now? Did they go to court or anything? Or
they're in trial right now.
They're in trials ongoing. Yeah, the trial's ongoing. No,
it's all focused on her. They all say it's all on her.
She's alive, so she's on trial.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she can't even do anything like talk or move. Oh my God.
She hasn't spoke. She was in court today.
So she can't say what happened. Can she talk?
No, because she doesn't remember. She was
so drugged. Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
And I think he was drugging her all along. But they had the postpartum depression thing. Oh, well, she did it because
right.
And
that's very rare to happen.
I think they actually took it a step further, which is even more rare. Postpartum depression is actually not all that unusual.
But that kind is.
Varying degrees. There's also postpartum psychosis.
And that's what they're saying is the psychosis.
To reach out for help. She knew she knew she was not okay. She was reaching out for help. She did reach out for help.
Medical system was not the best. But that's a perfect setup for a man who is having an affair, who wants to not be married to this person anymore, not dealing with the kids, you know. There was they did this real quick interview with him. He was doing a marathon, and after the murders and everything, and they said, "Oh, I'm doing this, for the kids," and somebody was interviewing him, and he said, "Oh," he goes, "they were great people, and they had lots of friends." We're talking about an 8-month-old, 3-year-old, and a 5-year-old. They're great people. I don't even talk about that like in that manner about my baby dog.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's just odd. It's such an odd response. It's such a non-response.
What's interesting is Chris, your response, like you seem like, maybe it's the Scorpio, but you just seem like someone who it's almost Libra-ish energy. Like you really want to balance the scales out across the globe. Like your energy just screams that to me. Like you want to balance everything out.
If I see something that's not right.
Yeah. But I was going to ask you, like,
we need to make it right.
Yeah, it's kind of going a little deeper into like an existential kind of thing, but like morality, right and wrong. I mean, there is to me, like, I guess you could say like God laws and man laws, I don't know what God laws are, but there are morals that we all agree are like, don't kill anybody, not necessarily the 10 commandments or anything, but you don't kill anyone. You don't, torture anybody. You don't steal from people. Stuff, basic common decency, right?
Yes.
Morals. So like take it a little deeper into looking at, for you like in your energy, it looks like for me, it's almost like you have a mission to really equal out the energy in higher up places is what it feels like,
Mm-hmm.
Like you have a very high interest in not just watching these cases, but I feel like your intuition is outraged by some people getting away with things. And it's almost like, I don't know why I'm saying this, but it just feels like you're here to like balance scales for people and
hell yeah.
Yeah, that's what it feels like to me, And so what do you do though? Tell us what you do that apparently really well, but what else do you do?
Well, that's my passion.
It's a good passion.
But I
man. Good
my what I do for a living is help overwhelmed women in business, solopreneurs, mompreneurs, authors, coaches.
I love that.
All different kinds of consultants. And now apparently I have all my psychics and mediums,
and healers.
I help them. I help them with their business. I help them get seen, get trusted, and get paid for what they already know. So basically, I'll work with them. I'll take a look at their website. I'll look at their messaging. I'll look at their offers. We will, if we can, write a best-selling book, get that book out there because that increases your expert authority.
Yes.
And then I just work on all the different ways and opportunities that we can expand their business and reach the clients that they want to have. You know, I'm lucky. I'm blessed. I have the most beautiful clients from all over the world. And if I could make a wish list to, like, you know, Santa Claus and say, I would like this kind of a person, that's who's coming to me. Right. And so I want that from my clients as well.
Yes.
And so I do have male clients. It's not just women. I have some amazing men, therapists, psychologists, very clever, heart-centered men.
That's great,
right?
man. Yeah.
Yeah. Very heart-centered men. So that's what I do. That's what I do for a living. And then my passion, though, is to right the wrongs, I guess, of the world.
That's what it feels like you're all about. It feels like you're doing it, and you always have been. Like, I have this image of you on the playground, like someone getting punched, and you go up and punch the person who got punched, you know, who did the punching. I mean, you know, I can just see you like, that's not nice. You'll be at in a mosh pit and somebody get knocked down the wrong way, and you'd be like, no.
When you see something really obvious too, and maybe it's just obvious to me, but I remember way back when 9/11 happened, and I looked at that whole scenario, and everybody was put into fear mode. But I looked at it and I went, wait a second. Buildings don't come down like that if it hit by a plane. That looks like a demolition. I've seen them all my life. I've seen in Vegas when they'd bring a casino down. I was like, not just the two buildings, but a third building. So my Sherlock Holmes goes off when something doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So I could see something with my own eyes, and if I'm being told from a filter, oh, this is what it is, I like to go, wait a second, let me look into this.
That's why I don't watch TV. I hate being told what to think about what's going on, because the news does not just tell you the news, they frame it, you know, the way they want you to think about it.
Absolutely. So when you look at something, and for me, I couldn't just sit on it.
Right.
You know, I worked at a radio station, and I had the wonderful ability to be on air. And when I could, I questioned it. I questioned it, because I said, look at how much money we're spending. Look at the lives. Look at the people we're killing. Look at all this stuff based on this one day.
Yeah.
And let's look at that. And with all of the stuff that's, you know, you don't need to, and same thing with COVID. You don't need to be a rocket scientist to see what was happening during COVID. And many of us who questioned all of that stuff, we were persecuted. We were told you can't go outside. You can't be with we lost family members who didn't want to be around us. Our friends, we lost jobs because we didn't want to take the vaccine.
Right.
And we were called conspiracy.
And you couldn't even, and the idea that you could not ask, in other words, that you couldn't go to your doctor and say, look, I want to talk to you about this.
Yeah. You couldn't.
No, you couldn't ask a question. You could not question in any way, shape, or form and say, is this right for me? You know, if you have a doctor, right, a family doctor, whatever, a regular practitioner that you see, to say, you know me, you know my medical history, you know this about me, you know that about me. Can we talk about this? There was no talk.
No, and I remember seeing Biden on TV saying, and I voted for Biden. You know, I like I'm an independent, but he said on TV, this is, you know, how they're making COVID a war. I don't know why everything's a war, but
everything's a war.
You know, he's like, this is no longer a war against COVID. This is a war of the vaccinated against the unvaccinated. Wow. I was like, oh shit, man, this is politics running their mouths, I guess. But you know, you don't do that. It's not about that. It's about people dying. It's not about any of that crap.
I mean, if the focus is really, if the focus is health or, you know, then that should be the focus, not all the other stuff that gets
not making people against people and separating. And you know, we don't know. Nobody knew what the vaccine is. No one knew. It was
medical professionals were not allowed to speak about it either. They got fired.
You were saying
if they did not,
we had such a huge brain drain during that time. I will tell you, there were surgeons, specialists in medical worlds who who knew there was something wrong with it and did not take it, and they lost their jobs.
They lost their jobs.
You're thinking about people who are brain surgeons and heart surgeons. They are no longer in practice because of that. Right. And now it comes out later, all these people had, died sudden death of a 15-year-old or 20-year-old or all these things. And now it's all coming out, all of the lies and all of the Fauci, all that stuff.
Well, and all the questions that should have been asked at the time.
Yes.
That didn't get asked, and that were not permitted to be asked.
It was just panic.
How do we, how do we approach this? What's the best approach? And again, if you're going to talk about science in particular, scientific method, the idea is you question and you test the hypothesis and you test the premise, and then you ask more questions. I mean, that's the process. And if you short circuit that process, at that point, it's not science anymore.
Follow the money. You always follow the money.
Signal.
Who benefits?
Follow the money. Who benefits?
Who benefits? Yeah,
and that's what I did. Exactly. That's what I'm doing with the Lindsay Clancy trial. I'm like,
well,
who benefits?
That's what the lawyer. I mean, that's what lawyers operate. Well,
if you look
at what lawyers operate from is the idea of asking that question.
Yes, who benefits? With the whole COVID thing, and I'll wrap that up when I go. So with that whole thing, I said, okay, if you're telling me I have to do this, what's the liability? So if I do this and I'm injured or I die, who's going to take care of my kids?
Right.
Or if I'm in the hospital forever, who's going to take care of my medical bills? Will the pharmaceutical company who made let me see. Zero liability.
No liability. Yeah, no liability.
What? If I order food from McDonald's,
I know,
and you get sick,
I can sue them.
Yes.
But you're going to put something in my bloodstream that stays in my body for the rest of my life.
It alters your RNA. Yeah.
What? I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah. I didn't take that. I took the Johnson. I did take the Johnson & Johnson vaccine because it was like a flu shot.
I think there was placebo. I think there were batches that were just sugar water.
Who knows, man?
Whatever they wanted. Yeah.
Who knows?
Evil.
Like, even COVID tests. I could have COVID and have 5 tests, and 3 of them would say I had it, and 2 of them would say I didn't. It's like the tests didn't seem to be very accurate either, or very effective too.
No.
And plus 25% of people who catch it don't even show any symptoms. So it was just they didn't handle it well. It wasn't, and it was just panic.
I had it once. I think I had it once, and it was like 2 days.
I had real bad episodes. I had 3 times, and it was horrid. And I had underlying conditions that came out because of it, and that's what it made.
Because of it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, what a horrible time.
It was, but we're in a good time now, and everyone's it's kind of a crazy time, I will say, but it's better than it was. It's better than it was, because we know more now. We know we're a little bit more of what we're dealing with, and people are talking openly like you are on this podcast, and we all are, about what we went through and how we were confused. And now we can take different actions. Hopefully, if this happens again, we can be better prepared.
And
because we have history. We have more recorded history.
Yeah, and speak and ask questions.
Speak and ask questions. Yes. Yeah. And don't let your government shut us down. That's not right. But with that, I'd like to thank my sponsor, Everclear. They won't shut us down. They love us. Everclear is an advice app and website where you can get advice from psychics and empaths, so you can get the clarity you need to create the life you deserve. And Donna and I are both advisors on Everclear. My name is Lisa Rusczyk on Everclear.
And I'm under my own name, Dona Murphy, on Everclear also.
Everclear.
Everclear. It's wonderful. And it's advice. We give advice. Yeah, it's a psychic.
Okay, so everybody after the show, and not now, but everybody after the show, rush over to everclear.com.
Go to Everclear.
Okay. Go to Everclear.
And if you see anytime you're seeing this, go check out Everclear. They're wonderful. You will not get any bad experience at Everclear. I promise you. And if I'm wrong,
they have really wonderful advisors on the platform, and they're particular. I mean, it's not just hang out It's not just, okay, hang out a shingle and here you go.
I don't think I would be hired now. I think I was just lucky because they were a startup. They weren't even active. They weren't on a platform when I was hired. They were building. Like when I was hired in November of 2019, they had not gone live yet. And in December, they released the app in Canada, I think, in January. And then in the middle of January, they rolled it out into the States. So
in 2020.
And I was like one of the perverse people I think they hired because I saw that on LinkedIn, and that name cracked me up. I love the name. Yeah. It's just a great name because it made me think of the pure grain alcohol, and I just thought it was also for psychic. I just loved it. But they're great, man. Y'all, Everclear is great. And but lastly, I'd love to ask for some advice for the listeners. We covered a lot of topics, but I really want to ask, like, if there's some listeners out there maybe who have that feeling like they're here to right wrongs and make the world a better place that way, but they don't know how can I do anything? Well, one person, what can I do? What advice would you give them?
Oh, there's always so much you can do. You know, we have technology now that allows us to reach thousands, if not millions of people. And what I do with my clients, I'll find what platform works best for them. Some people are very expressive, some are very shy and, less talkative. So it just depends on the format that we get the word out. So some people, they need to have video. They need to use video to get their point across. I particularly love TikTok, and I think the algorithm is such that when you consistently put out your message, then the right people will find it, because the algorithm, they want people to stay on TikTok, right? That's their goal. So they're going to send you who you are. They're going to send it to your tribe, the people that will resonate with what you say. You'll get your few trolls in there. You'll get your people every now and then who are like,
that's going to happen anywhere. Yeah,
anywhere.
Absolutely. But for the majority, that's really important. Now, I have clients that there's no way that they would feel comfortable being on TikTok or doing lives and things like that. And that's fine. We go a different route with them. But it's all very individualistic. So just depending on the person, if they're a psychic, if they're a coach, if they're a medium. I have a new client who's a pet psychic. And I'm like, you need to have a podcast. And she's like, what? Well, I don't really. I said, are you kidding? Hearing stories about our household pets,
that's
our cats
so
and
true.
our doggies. I mean,
we've had pet communicators on the podcast, and those are some of the most downloaded podcasts.
Yeah,
exactly.
People are really interested.
You need to have your own podcast, and you talk about these amazing, beautiful pets who have communicated with you, and the stories, because story is what. Look, Star Wars. That's a story. Yeah. That's like one of the classic stories, right? And so the hero's journey, and Joseph Campbell spoke about it. So we identify ourselves through story.
Yes.
So if you have the ability to tell the stories, then it's one of the best ways to connect with people. Depending on who it is, and depending on their gifts, and depending on what they do, I'll put them in certain directions and get them all set up with that, and make it easy for them.
And if it's
with all that, then they're not going to.
Not only with all that Scorpio, but just how you are and the way you speak, I can tell you're really detail oriented. So I just feel like you are. So I feel like you would knock down all kinds of layers of people's aspects of who they are, and be able to pull it out and put it on paper for someone to show them what they are.
And fine tune it for them, or help them fine tune it with you for themselves.
Define what they are for who they need to find them. I think you'd be great at that.
Absolutely. You are spot on, girl.
I love it. That's really, I can tell you're really good at it. I'm psychic. I just know. Go find her if you need that.
Yes, we'll make sure that all of your contact information, everything that you want to share, will be in the show description, so people can find you in whatever way is best, and whichever way you prefer, to make sure that people know that they can get in touch with you, work with you, find out more about you, all of that good stuff. Also, for everybody, for our audience, whether you're, we always hope that you'll watch the episodes and that you'll watch them more than once. But sometimes it's hard to go through the whole thing and go, wait a minute, when did she say that? When did she say that? But anyway, yeah, if you, depending on what platform you watch us on, if you like us, make sure that they know you like us, follow us, subscribe to us, leave us a comment. Because we love to hear from you. Share us with other people that you know who you think would enjoy finding out more about the kinds of things that we talk about and the wonderful guests that we have on our show. And that's good for everybody. It's great for the show. It gets us out in front of more people, and it's great for you guys because you get more of what you like.
That's right.
Absolutely. And if anybody reaches out to me from hearing the show, which I encourage you to take action. Don't just say, "Oh, I would love one day." You can have a free consultation with me at expertauthoritycoach.com. It's 30 minutes. I will tell you what I see, what I feel for your business. You just sit there and just say, this is what I do. Help me. And it's absolutely free. And so expertauthoritycoach.com, you can book that in. But I will tell you, if you come to me, if you book in from hearing this, please tell me that you heard me on the show. So then I can tell Donna and I can tell Lisa, I can say, oh my God, you have brought me such an amazing person through your podcast, through your show. But I need to know that in order to tell them. So that would
We'd
be
love
very
to
helpful.
hear that too. So y'all let her know.
Yes,
thank you. I might book an appointment with you because I'm really curious.
I think you should. I think you both
I will. Thank you so much. This has been a great podcast, so Chris, and I've loved
Christine,
having you.
Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you'll join us again sometime soon. This has been a pleasure. It's been really, really enlightening and really informative and really provocative. And those are all things that Lisa and I will speak for you, Lisa. Normally I would not, but that we love and that our listeners and watchers love, and we love our listeners and our watchers.
And do you love our listeners and watchers? That's our last question.
Yes, that's our last question for you.
Oh my gosh, yes, they're my new BFFs.
There we go.
He loves you. You are love listeners. You are love watchers by 3 people. And a cat.
And a cat.
And a cat butt.
Everybody have a great time wherever you may be. Thank you again, Chris. Thank you again, Donna. Thank you, Everclear. Everybody have a great time.
Thank you, everybody. We'll see you again soon. Bye for now.
Peace out. Bye.